All right, what's up, guys? This is Beyond the Roll podcast. Kwame, I'm with Lonzo.
Boy Zoe. What's up, guys?
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about different jiu-jitsu myths, misconceptions, stuff like that, and then just kind of flowing from there and just, having a good time on the pod. Yeah, man. So what should we talk about first?
Well, I think some of the myths that I see on Instagram are, just people like scared to join jiu-jitsu. Some people think it's like a cult or it's like something that's like, like spooky. But
Yeah.
for me, it was, just signing up and just showing up was like probably the hardest thing for me to just do. And, showing up for the first day could be kind of nervous, like you working out at a gym for the first time. You could feel kind of nervous and anxious, but just showing up, signing up, trying out your first trial class, it's not scary, I promise.
So like, what was holding you back from signing up initially? Like, you're talking about being scared or
Right.
nervous about it.
Yeah. So first, I was just looking at schools around where I lived, right? So here, where we're located near Paso, we have a few schools. We don't have a lot. So I was just doing some research, just going down the freaking YouTube rabbit hole of jiu-jitsu and where it started. And I was kind of like psyching myself out, to be honest. I'm like, do I have to like commit to this school? I have to marry the school? Like, what does the school stand for? But I saw there was a Gracie Baja, and I looked up at some of the athletes, and some of the athletes, a lot of UFC fighters trained at Gracie Baja. You got George St. Pierre, John Jones, and Braulio Estima, Roger Gracie.
Holly Holmes too, huh?
Yeah, Holly Holmes. I seen that YouTube video for sure where John Jones gets promoted. Yeah, it's at Gracie Baja. So I'm like, you know what? It's pretty tight. I'm gonna pull up, but like I said, it could be intimidating because you are joining a school where you got other people, like a lot of members there, and they got things pretty structured. So you're kind of you're jumping in the pool pretty much. So I thought it was pretty cool. Just starting out, seeing other people are just as new as you, learning at the same time as you, learning together, and just realizing that you're not joining a freaking army. You're just just trying to work out. And everybody's goals are different. So, what about you, man?
Me, more than anything, I was scared about, getting hurt and not being able to go to work. That was like my main thing.
Right.
Like, I'm not scared to, wrestle someone or, do any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't want to get hurt and then be out of work. You know what I mean? Like, just like thrash my knee or my shoulder. Then I can't go to work. You know what I mean? Or then I need to do like some kind of surgery or something. And it's like, I don't have that kind of money to be, throwing down like that. So that was kind of like the thing I was always on the line. I was like, I don't want to do that because I can get hurt. I can get hurt if I do that.
It's a risk.
Yeah. So I think that was a big misconception about jiu-jitsu is that if you go join and you go out there and roll that, you're just going to get hurt and, injured. And it's not really that. Or do you think from your experience and like, I know you've done some sports and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about jiu-jitsu? And like, if somebody told you that I don't want to join because I don't want to get hurt, like, what would you tell them?
Well, what I would tell them is that what I've learned from our school is pretty much, the main slogan, it says, jiu-jitsu for everyone. You start off, you're doing jumping jacks, push-ups. I know a lot of people make fun of the warm-ups and stuff, but think about it. You got people working jobs, they want to just exercise. They have different goals. So just realizing that, you could just jump in and you won't feel like you don't have to do freaking a front flip just to start the warm-ups. You start with jumping jacks, basic stuff, and then you slowly, gradually, you start showing up, you start doing more things, you improve, you start getting the hang of things, just like anything else. So I just feel like, jiu-jitsu for everyone, and Gracie Baja is very open to having multiple people. You don't have to be a pro athlete, you don't have to be a collegiate wrestler just to join. You could just show up and, just gradually improve from there. So, yeah, that's what I would tell them.
Yeah. And, going in your first time, your first class, and it could be discouraging, like, because like the coaches and professors always say is that you're going to feel like you got hit by a car, because you're using a lot of different muscles, right, that you haven't
Yes.
used before,
Yes, for
and
sure.
it's comparable to doing something like, you go swim in the pool or the ocean for the first time, and you're having all these like, oh dang, my back is sore,
Right,
and like
using a
different,
bunch of stuff, like a lot of stuff that you don't normally use, right? So,
yeah. And I just want to throw this out there. I played, football, basketball my whole life, and I've had so many injuries in basketball: my ankles, my knees, and then football too. Concussions
Damn.
before they even talked about it. We used to go straight for that dome, dude. That's
Really?
what they told us. Like line up, and we try to get the most marks on our helmet. So it's like,
Damn.
I feel like anything you really do, I mean, there's a risk to it. Any kind of like dirt bike, mountain biking, even just running. My friend
Yeah.
was just running and he fell and broke his elbow, and he had all these pins and stuff just running down the
Yeah,
street.
you could do anything and get hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm surprised. Like, because you could take care of your body during a roll. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to like, do all these crazy things just to defend yourself. You could kind of control of your body. So obviously, when it's more intense, you're gonna be more at risk. But you could
Right.
still, like, when you're tired and stuff, you could chill out and maybe take a bad position instead, and take care of your body as well, because you want to be doing this for a long time.
Yeah, that's facts. And let's talk about the one of the biggest misconceptions. Age. Am I too old for jiu-jitsu? And we I think we're good for that. I mean, like, how old are you?
I just turned 24.
Like
So I
24.
started at 23.
Okay. So, still a young guy. And me, I'm 37. I started first when I was like, I think I was like 30, 34, 35.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking I was way too old, and I was talking to one of the professors, and he was telling me he started in his mid 30s, and he's like, oh, that's when I started. And so that kind of already made me feel better. My experience as, I guess you'd say former athlete my whole life, always active, doing stuff.
Right.
It's not so bad, man, getting into it. I was sore all over different spots, but it's like you got to pay attention. Like my professors would always tell me, like, pay attention to your body and slowly make your way into it. Like you're having some pain somewhere, maybe not like, if your hip's hurting, you're like, all right, maybe not push off with your hip, or if you have some shoulder problems, try to use your legs more and kind of work with what you have. But I don't think that's too old to start.
Definitely not.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call in the middle of
No, you're good.
all right. But yeah, like, what do you think about that, like, age wise? Like, is there an age limit, or what's your experience with that?
Dude, I think jiu-jitsu is dope, especially, I mean, for any age. I thought after my high school basketball, I don't know, you could say just like career, it was a passion of mine. I thought I was cooked, bro. I thought I was like, that's it. That's a wrap. But once I found jiu-jitsu, honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I didn't really find jiu-jitsu. I think it found me, to be honest, because I feel like I needed something where I could just put my attention and focus on, and actually, like, start sucking, right? You suck and you just start improving slowly. And I just feel like I needed that reset. But like I said, yeah, I was 23, and a lot of people start out like in their mid 20s. A lot of people start in the 30s, 40s. I saw an Instagram video where this dude was like 80 or maybe like 90 years old and got his black belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're never too old to improve on something. What I think is, like, you could just start and you just work from there. It doesn't matter your age, and you just work with what you got. So I think it's a beautiful sport just to keep that athlete inside of you, or competitive person inside of you, to keep it going and not let that die off, because I feel like that's an essential part of growth and learning.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I definitely seen some older people in jiu-jitsu in their 50s, and a lot of them in very good shape too.
Sure.
What do you think about somebody that is, older, maybe they weren't as athletic, when they're younger and they're getting into jiu-jitsu? What would you say to that kind of person?
Well, I'd say that technique would really come a long way. You don't have to use a lot of speed or just be overly aggressive. You could kind of use what you have. And, if you're older, you may not have that spring in your step like you used to, but you may have more wisdom and knowledge of, timing, or, being persistent, consistent, and just showing up. You might have that freaking, that inner knowledge in yourself to be able to pick up things faster from other things, from your job. You could use your stuff from like a professional field, and you could take it into jiu-jitsu, and you could use that to become a better student. So just being there, showing up, listening, and just trying to absorb the technique. And then I feel like technique goes a long way, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I almost think sometimes it's better if somebody that wasn't really a former athlete and they're older, because maybe they'll have like a fresher body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel
dude.
like my knees are just like worn out a bit from basketball, skating, and they come in like fresh body and they're like, oh yeah, I never really played sports.
People do talk about like kids starting in jiu-jitsu, like once, because they've been doing it so long. Sometimes once they reach 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old, their knees are freaking tore up because they've been doing. It also depends on the technique you're doing. If you're out here doing go-go platas, you're out here putting your legs behind your back, I feel like that probably puts some more wear and tear on your knees. But it also depends on your style and how you like to go. But I just I'm not very experienced in this, but I'm just from what I've learned in the past from other things, I try to carry that over into this, because it's a whole new world pretty much.
Yeah, and I want to just go back to listening to podcasts. We hear all kind of people do jiu-jitsu, and I always hear Joey Diaz talking about jiu-jitsu, and that guy's like, how old is that guy? Like 60?
Yeah, he's. I don't know exactly, but I saw a video. He's like 4 years older than Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's like 53, so he's like 57.
Close. Okay.
Yeah,
and he's a big guy too,
sure. Yeah.
And he talks about just showing up. Sometimes he can just do the warm-ups, or he'll, he's like, oh, I can't do much, but I can do a hip escape and a knee on belly.
Yeah.
And seems like he's having a great time.
Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he was talking about how he compares jiu-jitsu to his comedy.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a clip, and he was like, sometimes I got the crowd in my close guard. I feel safe here, and now I could attack from my position. So you could tell from people who do jiu-jitsu, they do carry it over to how they think and process things. And, just having that way of thinking, I feel like could help you out in other areas of your life. So when you're just starting, you could use other areas in your life for your jiu-jitsu, and you could take out jiu-jitsu for your other things that you're dealing with. So I think it helps a lot with that.
Yeah, I like how people do that. And how he compares jiu-jitsu to comedy. I like how people can always use that energy or that experience from jiu-jitsu and apply it to their life or to their career.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Joe Rogan was saying that it gave him more confidence for stand-up or something like that. I don't know if that was a mixture of jiu-jitsu and whatever he was doing.
Right. Just like martial
arts.
Mm-hmm.
It made him more confident. And then he
Right.
used to teach classes too, right? And then,
yes, I believe. Yeah, that's what I remember. He taught taekwondo classes at a university, I believe.
Yeah?
Yeah, and he taught that for a while, and then he just realized, he had a knee injury, and that's what took him out of there, and he had to refocus his path on what he really wanted to do. But the having the martial art there gave him the self-confidence to be able to be good at something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
What else we got here, man? What do you think about, this is like a controversial one,
Okay.
jiu-jitsu as like self-defense? Obviously we're freaking like white belts here, but like from what you've learned, and like what do you think about jiu-jitsu as a self-defense?
My white belt take on this is that I think it's good to have a mix of different things, not just just not having a one-dimensional way of defending yourself. Obviously, if the fight goes to the ground and there's one person there, you could probably hold your own. You could probably go full mount, take his back, her back. Who knows? What you got going on. But at the end of the day, it just depends on the scenario. If you're getting jumped by 6 dudes, you're not just gonna go take one dude single leg and have the other dudes just like take it to the ground. You need some type of stand up, maybe some kicks, or you could just run away. That's also an option. That is you don't have to be this person to be like, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass here, and sometimes you're screwed. So the best thing is probably just get out of the situation as So I think that's my white belt take. What's yours, bro?
Yeah, as an expert white belt here,
Hey, you are, bro. You are an expert white belt.
But yeah, dude. You know, I've been in a couple street fights here and there, and but there's definitely a lot of situations where you don't want to go to the ground. For sure. Like I've been in some house party fights where we're outside, it's a large group. You don't know who's gonna come at you. At that point, I would not want to go to the ground because you can get kicked. Even if if I got a knee on belly on somebody, or if I mount somebody, there can be another guy coming in. But you just never know. I mean, I think jiu-jitsu is good. Like if somebody tries to grab you, you're not gonna, if somebody grabs me, I wouldn't feel as like nervous as I would before. I wouldn't panic. Like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
And then when we get to the ground, yeah, I mean, that's like our world there.
For sure. Something that I actually noticed last night, because I do deliver orders, and when I first started, I was like scared to drop off orders at night. Sometimes I'm at these houses, they look spooky. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about this place. I don't know where I'm at. But what I've noticed is that I feel a little bit more confident where I'm at. I'm not saying I'm freaking John Wick and I'm gonna freaking do whatever when something goes down, but I feel more comfortable in my body and just knowing, because I feel like with the jiu-jitsu you could kind of feel that energy that something's gonna happen. I feel like picking up that is a good skill to have, and just being a beginner like myself or someone who's just starting, I feel like that's one of the main benefits of jiu-jitsu, is just having that that knowledge in yourself that you could probably hold your own in a situation.
And there's a bunch of videos out there where I've seen a couple. Like there's one at this guy at Disneyland is a famous video, and I guess I don't know who he's doing, like attacking like maybe a woman or something, but another guy comes behind that dude and puts him in like a rear naked choke, which is a common jiu-jitsu move. And then I've seen another one where a guy again is like gonna attack some girl, and the other guy comes in, holds him, also grabs him in a rear naked choke, takes him to the ground. So you do see a lot of situations like that where that's why I think jiu-jitsu is cool too, because it's a way you can like control somebody without like hurting them.
Right, without hurting them.
Just hold them down. And,
right.
So I think that could help you a lot. But yeah, like you said, a mixed, martial art would be the best. Elite, like, with Muay Thai or kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, it's like,
yeah, bro,
that's crazy,
you're
dude.
a weapon.
Yeah, because like you'll mount somebody and then you'll be able to throw strikes at them, or you'll be able to do some stand-up and just take it wherever it goes. I mean, I think that's ultimately the best, like right there, the best combo, Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu, or maybe kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. Right. And wrestling, dude, like wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling is
I think those are top 3, easy, huh?
For sure. I would agree with you there. And I also think that like jiu-jitsu techniques, sometimes they don't translate. Like say you're doing like a tournament, no one's hitting you. No one's like striking at you full mount. But if you're in a self-defense situation, you might need to know a couple moves to be able to, take a punch.
That's right.
Be able to grab the arm or something. Just do something. So, maybe when you're doing the techniques, when you're in the class, maybe think, okay, if someone has me in this position, they're probably going to be striking too. And there's different styles of jiu-jitsu. There's combat jiu-jitsu. There's no-gi jiu-jitsu. There's gi jiu-jitsu. It's a whole different, area where you could just venture off and you could see all these situations that could potentially happen. So you take what works for you, and you should be like, okay, I'll just keep that in the back of my mind just in case, get in a certain situation. But I was talking to my brother because we were watching the podcast, and he was like, we were talking about the name Beyond the Roll.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we could talk about jiu-jitsu, but we could also talk about more than just jiu-jitsu, because I mean, it feels like
for sure
we could just talk about life and how how we've got here, pretty much, because we have a bunch of stuff to get us to this current moment. And I think about that stuff pretty often, where it's like, damn, like one little small change could have affected my whole life, and you can't really plan it. It just happens like that. But yeah,
that is pretty deep. I mean, you're just talking about like any situation in life, like one small thing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
there's one day at school, and but you went that day, so now everything else has happened after that. Just off of. I don't know. I think about that stuff pretty much, but I feel like me and you are like on the same type of wavelength, where we just like, we think about certain things and it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, that's what my dad would always say. He's like, certain decisions you make could affect your whole life. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's true. You know, it's like you decide to, you know, drink and then drive. You get pulled over. Next thing you know, you lose your, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, you get into business, or, you know, or me as an MRI tech, I lose my license, and then it's like your whole life can crash down. So definitely I think about that, you know, like everything I do, there can be a consequence to it. Like, you know, so I'm trying to just live on a straight line, be a good person, treat others, you know, with respect,
For sure.
and you know, just try to keep that positive vibe, man, and just, you know, yeah, man.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
having a podcast, like we could just be ourselves. We don't have to be just like, you know, just cut, copy paste type thing. You know, we talk about like jiu-jitsu, self-defense, and just whatever comes to mind. I think it's pretty dope just to be able to you know, talk to you guys watching. You guys can comment, you know, whatever. Like if you guys were in a situation or story, type it in the comments. We'll be like, damn, we'll like read or react to certain things, and maybe we'll have like potential Q&A questions and stuff.
Oh yeah, that would be dope for sure.
Did we get any questions from the
I don't think
YouTube?
I didn't.
I think I saw one was like, what age is like,
Yeah, what age is the youngest, right? You
Right.
can do jiu-jitsu.
right? I think, I don't know. I see the kids classes. You see like a lot of like younger people starting. I feel like that's the best. I just listened to a video of Dana White, you know, recommending to start to put if you have a daughter or son, to put them into jiu-jitsu as early as you can, because like I said, it builds your self-confidence.
Or like Anthony, I asked him what's the youngest. He said he was doing jiu-jitsu in his mom's womb.
I
believe him, man.
I believe him too. I was like, damn, bro, this fool,
He's a beast.
for sure. And as soon as you roll with someone, you could tell like, fuck, like
Can't do anything here.
Yeah, dude.
I'm useless. And then you just get flipped like a
Yeah, you
a
get
Ninja
freaking
Turtle,
thrown in the
and-
air.
Yeah,
but
you're like, oh, I'm in the air now.
But don't get scared. I mean, it's like if you're a white belt and it's like your first day, no one's gonna freaking put you in a guillotine right away and make you fall asleep. Like,
I put that up on myself, you know.
Yeah.
We were rolling hard, so
yeah,
that's
dude.
what I wanted, man.
Yeah. So yesterday I actually went to St. Ynez to go train, and you know, it was about like an hour and a half away, and I just I was gonna record, but I was kind of running late. So I didn't feel like, oh, I had to pull up the camera, record the roll. But appreciate anybody out there in St. Ynez who welcome to train. You know, like I said, we said in the previous episode, where you could go train at different schools in the area, which is tight. So you're able to roll with different people, learn from different instructors, maybe learn a new technique here and there. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that I trained over there, and it was a good time over there. So I just wanted to shout them out.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully I can get down there one day, check them out.
For sure.
Heard a lot of good things. Yeah, man. What else can we talk about today?
Have you seen any crazy videos on Instagram or?
Um,
I know Hoist Gracie had a interview with Joe Rogan. I don't know if you watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What you think about that?
Legend, always right. UFC 1. Smaller guy, taking out everybody. Like, what was this one guy? He had like a ponytail. I think his name was Chemo or something like that.
I'm not.
Yeah, you have to look it up later. Big, huge dude. I think he used to come out with like a wooden cross.
Oh,
This
yeah.
freakish looking guy,
I didn't
dude.
see
Yeah.
the video. I was listening to it, but yeah, I was like, what? If we
Yeah.
carried out a cross?
Yeah, dude was a beast. And I want to say he took him out like in the last.
Yeah, the rules were a lot different back then, right?
It was nuts, man. But he went against some beasts, dude. Dan Severin. But yeah, man, I thought the podcast was awesome, and he seems just like a cool guy, man. Just like down to earth, and yeah, man, he put it on the map, man. He showed.
Sure did. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
We wouldn't. If you
Probably
think about
not.
it. No,
Yeah,
no.
he put the Gracies on, I think, in the U.S., right?
Right. I mean, you start with jiu-jitsu, you go to MMA, you go to, like, you could connect the dots with Joe Rogan and podcasting. It probably wouldn't even be a thing because Joe Rogan also, he trained over there. We started at Hicks and Gracie's place, and he went over there with John Jock.
Machado.
Went Machado, and then he went with Eddie Bravo. But even I was watching the podcast. I'm like, if this dude didn't go out there in the UFC and do his thing, like, he could have lost his first match.
Could have lost.
And we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching this because of that. Because it's like crazy how the dots connect.
He did it in the gi too, huh?
For sure.
And
Yeah, he did.
and what were they saying? They were saying like he could have. They were gonna put in They chose him because he was a smaller one. Like who else were they gonna put in?
Hickson, right?
Right?
Hickson. Well, he even said on the podcast that Hickson is like way better than him. He was way better.
That's what he
than
said.
He ever would be. That's what he was said still to this day. But I also read a book called Breathe by Hickson Gracie, and he talks about that. 'Cause Hickson Gracie, if you guys don't know who he is, he's Horace Gracie's brother, and he did Vale Tudo fights in Japan. And he was an MMA fighter. He was like 400-0, but he didn't do the UFC. And Horace, he always makes the comment that he was the one that did it because he was the most handsome person. That's what he said.
I remember that. Yeah.
So he's like, because of my looks. And I'm not sure why. Why
didn't Hickson? Was it a money thing? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Business. I don't know.
Probably, but I know Hickson did his thing in Japan, and then stuff happened with his son. He stopped fighting. And, yeah. And then he had a son named Kron. Kron, actually, he did a few UFC matches too.
That's right.
Have you seen any of his matches?
I have seen some of those.
Yeah. I think Kron's awesome, bro. I've seen some YouTube videos of his, and his his technique and the way he carries himself is like esque of a samurai, to be honest. I know like the implementing more than just jiu-jitsu, it may be difficult, having to throw in boxing and other disciplines. It's rough once you get in the cage and you see like, okay, this dude is like GSP where he knows everything. This dude knows wrestling, he knows freaking boxing, he knows everything up and down the book, and he has John Danaher and Sahabi in his back. That's a freak. Imagine how scary that is, bro.
That's nuts. Yeah,
you got these freaking philosophy freaking warriors behind you, and you're like, I don't know, dude. I feel like that's like that's a crazy team.
That's all Danaher does, right? He 24/7 studying jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, dude.
Always wears a rash guard, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's just some people you could tell the people who just do jiu-jitsu, and that's all they think about. It's like that's sick. I don't know.
That's pretty dope, man.
I think it's fire because they're like mystical, dude. They're like they got this like kind of this vibe to them. Where like,
it's like, what are they doing after class? Some kind of assassin or what?
Yeah, dude.
Just going out there like ninjas and just like, I'm gonna take out this guy right here.
Yeah, dude. You look at some of the freaking professors, they're just like,
What does he give them? He gives them when they get their black belt.
Oh, he gives them a knife.
Gives them a knife, huh?
Right? That is weird.
Because you're an assassin now. Like, it's like, whoa.
Well, you got some stuff going on here, but jiu-jitsu's deep, bro. I feel like
Craig Jones gives a gun.
Oh yeah, I saw they gave that to Nicky Rod. That's tight.
You get a black belt, you get a gun. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight or something. Like, that's like
They're gonna start giving out freaking rocket launchers next, bro. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe in those, like, I think it's known, man, because I'm talking about chemtrails, dude, in the sky. I mean, I think it's known, right, that they're changing the weather, and I've been seeing a lot of those.
I always wondered what those things were when I was a kid. I was like, is that a cloud? It's not a cloud, right?
It's be a long line.
Yeah, and it's just like, what is that? I mean, I never went too deep into it because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Freaking fly a anti-chemtrail plane? But I just always wanted to know what that was. I know there's like a lot of crop preservers out there. I just never went into too deep into that. But do you know anything about?
I mean, I know they're changing the weather out there. I think it was like Abu Dhabi or whatever. Like, it rains every day there?
Instagram like videos of them breaking it down, how they do it or how they can like control that. Which also I think is very possible. I'm sure like it's
proven, dude. I think it's wild, man.
Yeah, I just think it's insane. Just some of the things that are out there, and we just like we just accept it for whatever it is. But I mentioned it to them, like, have you to other people, like, but they don't seem to be tripping.
Cares,
no one cares about that stuff. But I was always interested in people who just go off and like they go on this whole freaking. I've been studying this for 30 years, and this is what I'm like. Let me hear what this guy has to say real quick, just to give it some more information from you. I
don't know, man. I think it's kind of cool, like especially over here in Paso in the summer. It's gonna be like 100 whatever every day. That sucks,
dude, use it for the benefit. Like if it's
some
hot,
clouds up there, man.
Yeah, bro, hook us up. Like I hope they're not freaking doing anything else, but you never know, bro. Yeah. I mean, I just think that is pretty nuts. But yeah, I don't know when did you first notice like stuff like that?
Dude, since I was like probably like in high school, we'd like look at those things and we're like, what's going on? And then it was, I'm telling you, dude, it was conspiracy for a while, but now it's proven, man, that
Right. So
they're
it's
doing
out
it.
there for sure.
Yeah, I think they're doing it in slow, man, just to let you know.
I don't know,
man.
I think about conspiracies and stuff. I'm like, am I tripping? I might be tripping. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's out of pocket, dude. There's no way that.
Also, real quick, I guess we'll talk about it next time, but Neuralink, dude. What do you think about that?
We could talk about a bunch of. We could talk about AI. We could talk about Neuralink. All right, let's talk about Neuralink for a little bit. I sent you a video of they had Neuralink on a chimpanzee.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that stuff?
I think it's pretty awesome, man. I think if you can get like somebody that, let's say they're like nonverbal,
Yeah,
like
Right.
like a smart autistic kid.
right.
I mean, it's crazy, man, to put a chip in someone's head like that. But if it can get them to talk or even like someone that can't see, like they're blind,
Right.
they can put a chip in there and now they can see. And then also like they can put a chip in there and then they're able to just retain like all this knowledge and stuff like that, right? So what if we did that and then we got like a chip in our head and automatically you're a black belt, like in the Matrix,
I
dude.
think about that too. Where it's like, what if you go against someone who has a Neuralink? You're just like, is that even fair? Or, just to play devil's advocate on that situation, like say people start getting it, they start implementing it. What if it's like something where it's like they could have full control? I don't know if you've seen the SpongeBob movie, where they put that chum bucket thing on their head and they just pretty much cyborgs. Hey, I just think we're going into some interesting times, and I think stuff like that is probably inevitable when it comes to technology and all that stuff. But I don't know. I really don't trip about that stuff too much. My girl, she's like, bro, it's gonna happen regardless. Like there shouldn't be no reason to trip out over these things. But
yeah, it's gonna happen. But it's just scary to think about it. But
for sure. And I think it's good to be able to talk about it. I think it's cool just to have other people. Some people don't. They don't even know. They're just they're just working, doing the thing. Next thing you know, that we're handing out free chips for everybody. Just
24-month plan. You get it for free.
Yeah, hook you up, subscription. We'll give you a freaking cheeseburger.
Yeah,
and you'll be hooked up. But yeah, I think about those things too. But it's just it comes with all this technology and all this. We're advancing as a civilization. We got so much information now. You could learn about anything. It doesn't just have to be jiu-jitsu. It could be crocheting. You could be a freaking black belt crocheter. You could be out there
crochet,
just watching instructionals on how to crochet.
For sure. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna wrap it up because we gotta go.
We got class approaching right now, so
we're just yapping away.
For sure. But I appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions or any topics for us to talk about, we are very open, as you could see, open-minded when it comes to these conversations, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Like, subscribe. You already know.
Yes, sir.
Be on the roll.
Be on the roll.
We out. Peace.
Peace.